Want to know how to make a good, thick clam chowder? I'm Marcia McDonald with Pacific Northwest Suburban Homesteading. This week, my dad, Mike Brewer, teaches us how easy it is to make his homemade Grandpa Mike's clam chowder.
Today, I'm going to be making clam chowder, and I've already prepped everything, cut the potatoes and the vegetables and everything to save time. And so I'm ready to put everything together. It's a simple recipe. There's a lot of clam chowders that people make them different ways. There's New England, and I don't know how many different types there are, but this is just a basic, simple clam chowder. But the reason I started making the clam chowder was because I like it a certain way. You go and you order it someplace, it's too thick or too thin or whatever, and this way I can put it myself. Yeah, but usually, see, if I'm cutting the stuff up, I just throw it in as I cut it. I don't put it in bowls all over the place. See, that, so this is new for me doing it this way, because I cut up the potatoes, throw them in, cut up the rest of it, throw it in. But this should, because, somebody who's never made clam chowder is kind of what I'm going on is they can see what goes into it and what you do. And it's actually pretty simple. Once you put it all together, you'll see how simple it actually is. Because here you got your ingredients. That's all you need to do is put that together. That's the big step. So I'm gonna start putting it together now. Put all of the ingredients together. And I'll start with the clam juice. It was drained out of the 3 cans of clams. Turn the stove on to medium heat. Adding the potatoes. And they're chopped up in just about, what would be, 3/8 inch little cubes. There's some people that like bigger chunks of potato, but you can use those too. And here are the onions. Use the potatoes were 2 cups, the onions 1 cup. And then chopped celery. And most everything is chopped pretty fine so that when it sautés, it'll saute faster. And you cook them on medium heat until the potatoes start to dissolve. Vegetables need to be filled so you can add some water to it to submerge the vegetables. Now, cover it until it starts to cook where you can see it sizzling inside. And then the stirring starts after that so that it doesn't stick to the pan. So it takes a stick and a half of butter, which adds out to 3/4 of a cup. And then I use dried carrots, more like because that's what I've got. And you can use regular carrots and just chop them up into small pieces. So I'm going to heat the half and half up and get it hot, and you mix flour to make a whey before you put the half and half in the pot, and I put it on about medium low. Now wait for the butter to melt before I put the flour in it. See, the butter's starting to melt down. Once it melts in, then I can go back to work on it. But I do think this is the magic thing for stirring now so it doesn't stick. It's starting to get up there. Now I'm going to mix the flour. It's 3/4 of a cup of flour. Now, I like using the whisk because when I put the half and half in here, it wants to splatter all over the place with a spoon. So this way I can keep it under control. I don't like cleaning messes though. Okay. One quart of half and half. And this is almost a continuous stir on this because it'll start sticking to the bottom. And it makes chunks, and I don't want any chunks in it that I don't want. And this is on a low heat. And I'll be going back and forth between the two as this is cooking down. And you can always tell it starts to get almost like a potato gravy, and then when it's done. But you can still see the carrots, and you can still make out chunks and stuff that are in it. You want some. I find that this spatula really works good because it's easy to flip it over to turn it to get, and it keeps it from sticking to the bottom of this too, because it seems like all this stuff kind of, even the stainless it wants to stick to, and even it's coated, whatever the materials just like to grow to the bottom of the pots. Then again, you don't splatter it all over with this. And I like to keep the liquid level so that it keeps it submerged all the time, and there's always a little water extra. Usually by the time I get done, I'll probably, besides the clam juice, I usually add about a cup of water because it will start to thicken up. But I put the lid on crooked so it can breathe. If it's boiling too much, you can always cut the heat down just a little bit on it. As this warms up, it will start to thicken up. I keep checking the bottom to see if it starts to pick up off the bottom, which I don't want it to do too much. See how it's wanting to pick up off the bottom. What I'm looking for is when the juice that's in here starts to thicken up. It's starting to get close to that. You can see it, but it's not done yet. And the dried carrots are starting to puff up, so you know they're cooking up. You can always cut your own carrots if you don't have dried. I mainly leave the cover on it like this because it has a tendency to want to spit out all over the stove, and it just saves a mess from being there. I'm sure you could do this without the cover, just by the way that I've done it for so many times. This works for me. You can see how the clumps want to get on that. You got to keep them stirred up. Reduce the heat down to low. It's cooking up pretty good now. I don't put the clams in until it's the last thing that I put in because I don't want them to get tough. And if you use whole clams, they can really get chewy. And so I use the minced clams because it's just easier to eat, I guess. starting to thicken up. I think we're getting close to ready to go. I've reduced the heat down now to low. Now comes the spoon. I move this over to the larger burner. That's a small burner, which I just mainly because it's closer to the sink. Okay, there's 2 tablespoons of pepper and 1 tablespoon of salt. If you need more salt, you can add it later. I'm not a real salt eater, so. There's 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I think it kind of enhances the taste a little bit. The last ingredient are the clams. It's 3 6-ounce cans. Add water to it to thin it down until it gets to the texture that I like myself. But if you like thick chowder, you can stand a spoon up in it. You can make it as thick as you want. So that's Grandpa's clam chowder. And the consistency is just about, it'll still thicken up a little more. But you can add a little water to it to thin it out. I've ordered too much chowder and it's too much like milk with a lump in it. This is full-bodied chowder and you can thin it with a little water. So a little water goes a long way. But this recipe will make 6 large bowls of chowder. Now it's ready for dinner.
And that's all there is to it. I hope you enjoy making my dad's chowder for your own family. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, be curious, keep an open mind, and never stop learning.